Welcome to Life After, a podcast for women to take you from feeling like you're just surviving to thriving, to creating a life you really love. Expect to discover tips and tricks to get there. Each episode will have actionable steps to empower you to make changes. I started this podcast because I've been through it all, from getting out of a marriage with a narcissist to completely rebuilding my life. And now I'm on a mission to help you too. You can change your life. It's absolutely possible. Children of narcissists learn that love is abuse. The narcissist teaches them that if someone displeases you, it is okay to harm them and call it love. Wakefield. Narcissism is not about self-love. It's a clinical trait that belies a deep sense of emptiness, low self-esteem, emotional detachment, self-loathing, extreme problems with intimacy. Pinsky. Narcissists purposefully target people who have high levels of integrity. From iforher.com. Narcissists instill a mental filter in our heads, a little bit at a time. Will he get upset if I do, say, think this? Will he approve, disapprove? Will he feel hurt by this? Until we can uninstall the narcissist filter, our actions are controlled by narcissists to some degree. Sam Vaknin. Want to get off the narcissist's ride? I started this tagline when I first did a few TikTok videos. I thought it was catchy and then realized how true it is for so many people. In this episode, we are going to talk about how to get off the narcissist's ride. If you ever felt like no matter what you say, it's wrong, or that you're constantly defending yourself for things you didn't do, or maybe you're always feeling lost, this episode is for you. Want to get off the narcissist's ride? You know, that endless loop of confusion, guilt, and second-guessing yourself. The truth is, you do not have to keep playing their game, especially because you never signed up for it. Another truth, getting off their ride isn't just about leaving them. It's about finding you again. For a long time, I thought healing meant just getting away. The reality is sometimes you can't just get away. What I've learned is that the real freedom comes when you discover your voice, your worth, your joy, your peace. First, it's important to recognize the game for what it is. And unfortunately, they do consider it a game, often like a game of cat and mouse. Because the narcissist thrives on control, and that means they're messing with you. It's never about connecting with you. It's always about total control, and often that means pushing you past your boundaries just to show you they can. Part of the game is to keep you emotionally invested while they hold all the power, keeping you off balance. And this shows up so often as the gaslighting that we all know so much about. It's also ensnaring you. It's the love bombing in the beginning to make sure you feel the emotional connection to them, even though they don't feel the connection to you. They can't be connected to you. They don't have empathy or attachment or self-esteem. That love bombing feels good to so many of us. It's a wonderful feeling to feel so special and be given so much attention. And It's incredibly disappointing and painful to learn later that it wasn't real. And as you're healing from narcissistic abuse, this one can be really hard because it can keep you questioning your own value and your own worth. Once you recognize that none of it was real, the awareness comes next. You didn't lose yourself. You were buried under survival. All of the self-blame and confusion are symptoms of trauma, not weakness. When you are living in survival mode, which can happen with any narcissist that you're dealing with, you just simply can't thrive. Now, some of the other tactics besides gaslighting that a narcissist uses to play their game are guilt trips, the silent treatment, and shifting blame. Depending upon who your narcissist is, will sometimes impact which of these tactics they use. If your narcissist is your spouse or your partner, they're likely going to use all of them. And most narcissists will use gaslighting. It's the one that's most commonly known that we all hear about so often. However, if your narcissist is at work, you may more likely see the shifting blame as a tactic to control you. Whereas if your narcissist is a friend or family member, you may get more guilt trips and silent treatment to keep you unsure and off balance. Of course, any narcissist can use any of these tactics to suit their end game. However, once you start to see the patterns, you can stop reacting. Sometimes this means not responding to them at all any longer, and sometimes it means being more strategic. Again, what you do depends upon the narcissist, how close you are to them, and the regular interactions you have with them. Ultimately, you win by not playing their game, because you can't ever win a game that's rigged against you. And that's what the narcissist game is. It's completely and totally rigged against you. There are lots of approaches you can use to stop playing their game. First, you can gray rock them. A narcissist is always looking for engagement, for your emotional engagement. So when you gray rock, which is becoming uninteresting, unresponsive, or unemotional, becoming a gray rock, you'd never pay any attention to a gray rock off the side of a path. When you do that, this effectively distracts the narcissist, often to avoid dealing with the real issue. And I'll give an example in a minute about how it avoids dealing with the real issue. You're doing two things. You're distracting them from what you really want or feel, and you're limiting engagement with them, thereby refusing to play their game and shutting down their access to you. So I've used this example before. I actually started gray rocking before I even knew what that term was or how powerful it was. I knew my marriage was over, but I wasn't willing to leave because I thought that staying would really help protect my kids. So for the last 18 months of my marriage, I said, okay. I said, okay, a lot. I didn't get upset. I didn't respond with any emotion. I just kept saying, okay. This was untenable for him because it was clear that I had become disengaged. Now, another example of gray rocking is one where I really made a mistake, actually. So shortly after we split up, I didn't use gray rocking. I thought he wants to divorce, he wants to leave, and I just want my peace back. So I made the mistake of telling him what I wanted. And I said to him at one point very early on in our conversations about splitting up, well, I don't really care so much about the money. We'll just do the standard thing that California makes you do, splitting things up. What I care about is the kids. So this is the absolute opposite of gray rocking. If I'd really understood that concept back then, what I would have done is I would have said, yeah, whatever happens with custody with the kids, that's fine. But, I'm going to take you for every extra dime I can get. Then he would have focused on the financial stuff instead of knowing what really impacted me, which was making sure that the kids had a safe, stable place to be and that custody was worked out so that we could ensure that that was what they had. Full well knowing, of course, that he wasn't a safe, stable place for them to be. So those are two examples of how gray rocking works, how it works for you, and unfortunately, learn from my mistake how it works against you. Setting boundaries is another way to stop playing the narcissist's game. This one takes practice, and know that once you start trying it, the narcissist is really going to ramp up their actions and reactions to you. They definitely don't like boundaries or any action that even insinuates that you're not playing their game. So the thing with boundaries, the easiest way to start implementing boundaries are with a narcissist that you're not living with. So an extended family member, a friend, a coworker, a boss. Really big with bosses, just know that they're going to really try to ramp up. So knowing that ahead of time, they're going to try to get you back under control and maintain their power. So as long as you know that ahead of time, you can start practicing your boundaries in a safe way with safe people is a good way to start that. And then moving through that into practicing with your narcissists, knowing that their reaction is intended to try to tip you off, and therefore then you got to be able to plan through what their intentions are in terms of escalating. Now, finally, you don't have to defend yourself ever, especially not to someone who's not listening to you. This doesn't mean, of course, that we don't all have to be responsible and accountable for our own actions. Of course we do. What it does mean is that when you defend yourself, you are giving power and control to your narcissist, and you'll never win that game. Especially because it's one that you don't even want to be playing in the first place. Noticing when you feel like you have to defend yourself is a red flag. And you can use that red flag to check in with yourself and practice shifting to a different response, right? So this is using that feeling of having to defend yourself while also building some practice with boundaries. Every time you choose peace over proving yourself, you take your power back. Your silence, your calm, and your boundaries. That's what breaks the cycle. Practice as much as possible to break free and stop giving the narcissist any control. Getting off the ride isn't about changing them. It's about choosing you. When you stop playing, the game ends. You get to step off the ride, breathe again, and start building a life that doesn't run on chaos or control. Once you decide to get off the ride, then your opportunity to rebuild your identity starts. This happens with tiny truths. I assure you all that you are still you. And when you're healing from narcissistic abuse, one of the things you learn is that you get to become a better version of that person that you knew before, that person that you were before. Not only do you get you back, but you get a stronger, wiser, more resilient you back. When we talk about the mindset work that is that's so useful when you're recovering from a narcissistic relationship, knowing what you want is key, right? That's always the crucial first step that I'm always talking about. What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And what do you want is the first question to ask yourself when you're working towards getting back to that person you want to be. And again, you're not really going back to that person, you're moving forward to as a new, better you. To get you back, after you ask yourself, what do I want? Then you're going to follow up with a couple of additional questions. Questions like, what do I like? What do I believe? And while these questions might seem really basic and fundamental, the reason that we want to be asking ourselves those questions is so often the narcissist has convinced us of stuff. They have made us feel so lost, and they've forced us to cross so many of our own boundaries that we kind of have to get back into touch with, what do I like? What movie would I want to go see? What kind of restaurant do I want to go to? And what do I believe? What are my fundamental beliefs and values? Those kinds of questions are really going to help you as you're going through your healing and recovering process. Regardless of whether you answer these questions on your own, whether you're writing about it or thinking about it, or whether you're verbally processing with someone safe, make sure it's someone safe. Answering them is really key. Your process of healing and recovery is going to go faster when you take the time to think about these questions and really work through them. One of the results of being stuck in this game with a narcissist is that we often lose sight of ourselves. And those 3 questions, I think I asked more than 3, will help you regain your autonomy, as well as encourage you to start looking forward, right? We don't want to go back into the past, to the person we were in the past. She's gone. We have learned so much and we've grown so much. And so the key is to take all of that wisdom and knowledge and look forward, move forward. Every time you make a choice that's truly yours, you're reclaiming a piece of yourself. Freedom can feel like quiet confidence. And your healing can look however it works best for you. It's always steady movement forward, taking consistent actions to move away from your narcissist. They won't want to let you go, but it is possible to disengage and move on with your life. Some of this happens when you stop explaining and you stop apologizing. I had to really learn this one. And stop apologizing for literally rather, every single thing I did. When you do that, then you stop shrinking too, which is something that the narcissist really wants to see happen with you. They really want to see you shrink into a smaller version of yourself so they can be big. You realize your peace matters more than their approval. And once that shift starts to happen, then all bets are off. The narcissist doesn't have their hooks in you anymore. You're not who your narcissist said you were. And over time, you'll realize that you don't care what they have to say anymore anyway. You're who you decide to become. And that, my friend, is the most powerful kind of freedom. I just want to add on a short, quick note. In addition to my new blog that'll be coming out soon, keep an eye out I'll be creating some video content on Instagram and TikTok. It'll be quick and easy tips and tricks for dealing with narcissists, recovering from toxic relationships, and shifting your mindset so that you can avoid other toxic relationships and other narcissists in the future. Stay tuned. This podcast is a valuable resource for anyone seeking to make meaningful changes in their life. I'm here to support you on your unique journey, offering guidance and encouragement every step of the way. There will be new episodes on the second and fourth Wednesday every month. Please follow on your favorite podcast platform so you don't miss any episodes. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to today's episode on narcissists and how to get off their ride. Remember, you get to decide when you want to stop playing their game. They don't get a say in it. And when you do, you get to do the one thing narcissists hate the most. You get to thrive.
As we wrap up, here's the thing. I've made every mistake. I've literally been there and done that. It's one step at a time, and you'll get there. There's hope. You've got this. If you're struggling in a relationship and wondering if it might be controlling, you're not alone. Download my free PDF at locatecoaching.com/free gift to help you find clarity and confidence. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.